YouTube? I am back with another reaction video, and we finally got this interview. I know a lot of people have been wanting me to get to this, and we finally here, but we ain't gonna do too much talking at all. Miss y'all, but we're gonna get straight into it. This is almost 30 minutes long, so it's probably gonna be like a part 1 or 2. Should just be a part 1 or part 2, hopefully. But yeah, let's get straight into it, y'all. We ain't gonna waste no time. Let's get straight into it. Let's get it.
I felt more comfortable with my left hand there than I did my right. Then once I got started. Better players we had on our team in rookie free agent camp that I wasn't going to have very many problems playing in this league. So it didn't take me long to figure out that what I needed to do is learn how to win basketball games. Before I got there, I think the
Real quick. I don't know why my space bar is not working, but it's just so crazy to me how people just slept on him. Like, how did so many people sleep on this man? I don't get it. Like y'all said, I think y'all just say like the injuries and everything, but it's just like, yo, I don't get how people really don't see how good this man is. Yo. It's crazy. But anyway, let's get it.
Celtics won 28 or 29 games that previous year, and my goal was to win as many as I possibly could, help them get to where they haven't been in a while, and that was my whole focus.
Jump forward to your second year, game 1 of the NBA Finals. I want to talk specifically about the putback. You know, the putback off your own miss.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, they did say, somebody did tell me that in this interview that the person in the background is asking the questions is kind of low, so I got my volume and everything all the way up, so hopefully y'all can hear it. It's really good, but I got everything up, so yep. All right.
Called this the greatest play he'd ever seen, when he calls you a player of destiny at the time. And your response, which I love, is, Red says so much I don't even listen to him. I just let it run in 1 year and out goes. And I'm just curious, what did it mean to have that kind of relationship and support from him?
Oh, it meant everything. Red Box could be the greatest GM ever was, president of any sport. Looked up to him. We all looked up to him. Red never missed a practice. He didn't go on a lot of road games, which I don't blame him because he's been doing that his whole life, but he was there every home game. He meant the world to all of us, and to have him to say something like that is just showing a lot of respect, not only to me, but I try to give as much respect back because he was beloved, and he meant everything to us. Red's seen a lot of basketball games in his life, and sometimes you have a tendency in the moment to forget about the other ones, but it was a good play. It was a horrible shot I missed, but I was able to gather it and in the air, switch hands, and get it to my left hand and make it. Just so happened to be in a big game, game 1 of the 1981 finals against Houston Rockets. That I think that's why it played up with so much hype. But still, it's something that I always did back then, was always follow my shot. Because the guy that's shooting the ball knows whether he's going to make it or miss it most of the time, whether it's going to be short, long, left, or right. And when I released the ball that day, it was way off to the right, and I was just trying to chase it down.
That seems like the type of read perfect, shooting alone in a driveway, just reading the ball off the rim. I love that. You mentioned that this series in your book, and playing against Moses Malone, it gave you a new appreciation for rebounding. Do you recall the specifics about that?
Well, I was always a very good rebounder in high school and college. I think in college I averaged like 14, in high school I averaged 20. So I was always able to rebound. Always had the ability to seek out the ball and go get it. But when you play against guys like Moses Malone and some of the top rebounders in the league, the one thing that they always have a second jump. I never had the second jump, but they can keep the ball alive and tip it to themselves or take it off the bank board or off the rim and get that second jump to get it. And I was always amazed how he's able to not only use his body but his strength and his legs to get in a position to rebound.
Now you mentioned this already, but when your first season you had the biggest single season turnaround in wins and then a title in your second. You're just 24 years old right now, a sophomore. And, hindsight, you guys have your own dynasty. But what was it like sort of continuing that, that storied legacy, that era of dominance for the Celtics? Did you appreciate that at the time?
Not before I got there, but after I got there, I really learned about what it was all about. When I played in the Garden, every game I went to, the same people in the same spots for 13 years, So they've been there forever. They knew the game. They loved the game of basketball. But playing for the Boston Celtics was the highlight of my whole life. Played a lot of. I enjoyed my time in Terre Haute, Indiana State. We did something incredible there, but playing at a high level and doing it for a living was the highlight of my career. And it happened to be in Boston, which is a city that I respect and love. And the best time of my life.
You joined a team that had some very established players like DATPHILLYBOINAH and Tiny Archibald. What was playing with those guys like?
It's always great to play with great players. It makes the game a lot easier. But the one thing that we did my second year, we picked up Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale. Now, we didn't know how they was going to fit in, but they fit in very nicely. And after we won the championship in '81, I feel like we had a good enough team where we could start a destiny and win a lot of championships. Unfortunately, there for 3 years we didn't do much, but from '84 on we played pretty well.
Let's jump forward. I want to jump all the way forward to the '84-'85 season. And that's kind of a fun one. On March 12th, 60-point game against the Hawks. You almost didn't play this game. Do you remember why?
Yeah, I remember every bit of it. I had a lot of problems with my hamstrings before that game. When we went to New Orleans I think it was on a Sunday or Monday, the day of the game, I got up and I couldn't hardly move. And the reason for that is I ran in a 5-mile race. It was either on that Sunday or Saturday back home. Once a year, we had this run right in the middle of the season, and I always loved to go outdoors and run, and I always participated in it. But for some reason this time my hamstrings got real tight. And before the game, I was over an hour and a half before the game, doing everything I could to get loose. And finally, right before game time, they felt really good and played and shot the ball extremely well that night.
And the shots that you hit down the stretch are superhuman. Contested fallaways for Dominique Wilkins, leaners that called off 4-point play. What do you remember about that final quarter? And did you know that when did you know that this was more than just a good shooting night, that the record was, within reach?
Well, Kevin McHale broke the all-time record a couple of weeks before that against Detroit Pistons, and I did not want him to go out of the game. There's a couple minutes left, and I told him to stay in, go for 60, and that's a number in my head that I wanted him to get. He ended up with 56, so a couple weeks later, when we were playing in New Orleans, and people always say, well, how'd you know how many points you had? Well, you didn't have to keep track of them. You never do. You just play the game, but the announcer let me know every time I scored. So he'd go 48, 50, 52, and when it got to that with like 3 or 4 minutes to go, I thought I might as well go ahead and try to get 60, and that's what I did.
I love that. Now you mentioned specifically the Kevin McHale record a few days prior. I'm just curious, how did you two, stars with very different personalities, how did you push each other to be better?
Well, I think it's just the competition of practice every day. But we didn't go against one another. When Kevin became a starter, we was always on the same team.
Real quick, y'all, if y'all hear this water in the background, I'm sorry, but I actually recently got a fish tank. I just got a fish tank recently, so if y'all hear water in the background, I just realized that. But if y'all hear that, it's a fish tank, so it's not I can really do. I'll just start muting my mic then maybe.
team. But before that, he was our sixth man, came off the bench. I'd play against him every day. And what we do, we played hard, we practiced hard, we scrimmaged a lot, and we try to make each other better. That's just the nature of the business, because if you go into practice, you want to play at a high level, or you really get nothing out of it. So we did our best to play hard every day and then try to learn one another's game. And it was so easy to play with Kevin because he had pretty good hands and he always got great positions. So and he was 7 foot, so it's easy to get the ball to him in the right spots.
Now, during this game, you had the Hawks in pieces on the bench. I'm curious from your vantage point, what were they saying and doing?
I have no idea. You know, you don't watch that stuff during the game. I didn't know about it until, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks after people were talking about it. But later on, somebody showed me a video of it, and you know, we've done the same thing. I remember Andrew Toney in big games from Philadelphia come in and start making crazy shots, and or Vinny, the microwave. We don't fall off the bench like that, but we sit there and go, man, this is unbelievable. What are you going to do to stop him? And so I've been on both sides of it.
And you mentioned specifically, again, in your book, and you sort of said right after the 60-point game, one that you're maybe more personally proud of is the one where you had a triple-double with 9 steals. I don't even think you played in the fourth quarter at all.
Well, that was in Utah, and they had a real good team. And if I'm correct, I think we played the Lakers the day before, and we always seemed like Utah the next night, which is always tough after a game against the Lakers to come in and stay on that high. But that game, everything was clicking, and it seemed like they were just throwing me the ball all the time. I always had it in my hands, and put a lot of numbers up, but numbers don't mean nothing. The win was more important. It's always good to reflect back like today and say, yeah, that's right, I did get 9 steals and had a triple-double. But getting a quadruple-double meant nothing to me. I mean, really, you go into a game and when you're up by 25, 30 points, just for a steal, makes no sense to me. I've done enough damage already.
Yep, he said it right, man. I mean, I get it. But still, like, for me, as like a fan and like, Larry Bird, I'm like, yo, he just got that 10, man. That would have been so crazy. But nah, he's right, though. If you up by 30, like, come on. It ain't no really point of, like, I done blasted y'all. I'm ready to go home and whatever, Like, he not even, I get it. But I know a lot of people be like, oh, he should have got that quadruple double, like, but I get it. He said it best. We up by 30. Why would I really need, like, for real? I get it. So yeah, that's what I definitely get it, man.
Fast forward to the next season, February 8th. It's All-Star Weekend, and you're participating in the very first three-point contest. And you did. From the moment that you found out that you would be participating in the contest, what did you do to prepare? This is uncharted.
Well,
territory.
yeah, it is uncharted because we never shot a lot of threes, and I never practiced them. I mean, every once in a while I go out there with Danny Ainge and we'd shoot a few, but I didn't really know if I wanted to be in the three-point contest until a couple of my teammates told me I wouldn't win it anyway. So then I had to go out and prove to them that I could win the thing. I'm a very confident player. The one thing I didn't know if I could do it. You had 25 balls and you had time. You had to get them up. Never done anything like that before. So me and Danny started practicing a little bit, and next thing you know, we're out there playing and shooting, and the more rounds you go through, the more confidence you got. There was never a time where I thought I couldn't win the competition. There's always a time where if the ball was flowing right, the more I shot it, the better I got. But my whole mentality of that was if I got through the first round, I was going to win.
Now, one advantage that you had versus some of the other players in the contest was a little bit extra experience, shooting under pressure. And you seem to have fun with that, breaking the ice in the locker room with the now mythical line. So who's coming in second? What do you remember about that exchange?
Well, it wasn't a big deal. It's just that it's a very somber locker room. Nobody was saying anything because we compete against each other, mostly on a nightly basis. And there's not a lot of rapport going back and forth, but pretty quiet. Guys, a little nervous. A lot of the guys that was in the competition were great shooters, but they were bench players. You know, they didn't play maybe 12, 10 minutes a game. So it's a whole different feeling when you get out there, because when you're shooting that basketball and there's 20,000 people in the arena, there's 40,000 sets of eyes on you. It's a little different. And it's just you. So I knew they was under a lot of duress anyway. So I said it just to break the ice, but I didn't think it would ever leak out there. But truthfully, I meant it. I mean, I knew I was probably going to win the contest.
Casey Jones said, Larry has that Muhammad Ali kind of approach. He gets to you and your mind before the fight begins. By the time you step in the ring, you're 40 points down. And I'm just curious, where did this sort of playful but unwavering confidence come from for you personally?
Well, my confidence came from me shooting basketball by myself for hours upon hours. I mean, it's not, I didn't pick up a ball on a Saturday and decide I was going to score 40 a game. I mean, that preparation came way before that. So I played a lot of basketball in my life and did a lot of shooting and from every angle, from every position. Then once I grew, be 6'9", the game became a lot easier. But I put my time in, so I knew I put more time in than anybody else. And I had skills that other people didn't have, so I had a lot of confidence in whatever I did out there on the basketball court.
Would you say, was there a comparable player that would talk on the court like you would? Who would you say the greatest trash talker was?
Well, I mean, everybody talks about this trash talking stuff, but it's a little bit overblown. I mean, I said some things, but the talk didn't go on and on and on. You had to play the game. But some guys would say things. Guys walk up to you when you're on the free throw line and walk by and say something. But mine wasn't doing anything to disrespect people. Sometimes you get into it with players and you say things, but more it was just fun. Dominic Wilkins is a guy that I respect more than anybody I ever played against. And I talked to Dominic just being him. Nobody knew we was talking. And what a great player. I love to compete against him. But he used to laugh at me, which I thought was pretty cool.
Now changing speeds a little bit. You didn't shoot a lot of threes during this era. No one really did. But you were one of the first to flourish there, starting around in the mid-'80s. When did you start seriously working on your range?
Well, I never did. Like I said earlier, I never did practice a three-point shot much. The one thing that I remember most about the three-point shot was you could use it to your team's advantage at the end of games, to ice games, deflate other teams. But I can also remember in the mid-'80s, Casey Jones was the coach, and he came in the locker room for the game and told us we shoot too many threes. And we probably shot maybe 8 or 9 the game before. Well, we're playing New York, and the ball goes up, and Robert tips it out. Danny Ainge picks it up and fires up a three, first shot of the game. And I'm going, well, I guess that's out the window. But, there wasn't a mentality that we had to shoot 30 threes a game like they are now. I mean, I know coaches in our league like to shoot 50 a game. But back then, not with the Celtics, we were a big team. We liked to pound ball inside and go inside and out, So the three-point shot wasn't something that, we worried about. If you had it, you take it, but most of the time we threw it inside.
Now, fast forwarding just a week, it's February 14th, you're playing against the Blazers, and you're scoring 47 points. And you're especially using your left hand.
Oh.
What compelled you to shoot so many field goals with your left in that game in particular?
I don't know. I had a good left hand around the basket, and they always, if you watch, if I remember the game correctly, they would force me left to help, and they wasn't getting there quick enough. So I had shots around 5-6 foot with my left hand. I felt more comfortable with my left hand there than I did my right. Then once I got started making a few, I just kept going, and some night it goes in, some night it don't. That night it happened to work out, but. If I remember correctly, we won that game in overtime by like 1 point. So, I probably shot with my right hand the whole game.
Now, Jackie McMullen wrote in the book With You and Magic that the Celtics at this time were young, loose, cocky, and together.
Yeah.
Nowadays, as we look back at that 85-86 team, as one of the best in league history.
Right.
What was the mood on that team compared even to Celtics teams prior?
I played on some really good teams, but nothing quite like that one. Bill Walton made a lot of difference on that team. Jerry Sistine coming in from Indiana as a backup point guard. Scotty Webman was there in '84, but he was a top player for us off our bench. Our bench was just as good as the starters, I thought. But Bill Walton was the key. Bill came in and coming off a lot of injuries for a lot of years, felt relatively healthy. And we felt if we could keep him on the court 10 or 15 minutes a game, we're probably going to win a championship. It all came down to whether we was going to be healthy or not. And we stayed pretty healthy. I think Bill played in 80 games that year, and we just felt that nobody could beat us, not in a 7-game series.
Now fast forward to June 8th, 1986. It's Game 6. So this is following, he did Game 5, the Ralph Sampson incident, but the Boston crowd in Game 6 was intense.
Yeah.
And how would you describe Celtics fans and the environment that they created?
Well, it depends on what game. I played there on Sundays at noon, and I always said they should have went to church instead of coming to the game because it sounded like we were playing in a church. But then I fire them up, and here they come, So I can remember Bill Walton. I got there real early, and I got my stuff done, and Bill Walton came in the locker room. He goes, them fans want blood, and they don't care whose it is. And, I lived that life for 13 years, and that was Bill's first year. So I knew I know them Boston fans. They want them championships, and they want it in the fashion that we gave it to them. They want a big lead. They want to have fun. They don't want to sit on their hands. They want to get up and go, and they're cocky just like their team was.
Now you said that you probably concentrated and prepared more for this particular game than any other. And I'm curious, how is this different than other?
I don't think I prepared. I think we were prepared as a team. After what you said happened in Game 5, we just had to let that go and concentrate on what we had to get done in Game 6. We already lost 2 games to them, which very talented team, but we were the superior team. They were young, and I didn't think they could ever win 2 games. But what happened in Game 5 spilled over to Game 6. Now it was up to us to go out as a veteran team that's been there before and play like we've been there before. And that's why our focus had to be solely on what we can do as a team. And that's what we did.
And you were contributing,
We're going to end it right here, y'all. We got some good time in it. We got 20 minutes. I'm going to finish this out, part 2. We're definitely going to finish it. But, this was good. I see exactly why y'all wanted me to get to this interview. But we got to it, and this John is crazy. Appreciate y'all so much, man. Y'all just appreciate y'all sending me all these videos and everything. I also found 2 or 3 more videos, too. I've been doing a lot of searching, and I'm also going to be not changing up my intro, but I'm going to change up. Y'all going to see in the next video. Well, after this whole video, but in the new video, y'all see, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I've been working on a lot of stuff, so that's why I've been going. Haven't been uploading like I was before. But, I'm out of here, man. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that like button. Turn on that bell. And this interview is crazy. I'm definitely looking forward for the rest of it. And appreciate y'all sending me this, man. And we getting to it. We getting it rolling. But I love y'all so much, man. I'm out of here. Going to get to part 2. Love y'all. Peace.